Hello friends, welcome to the second part of antiarrhythmic agent. In this, we will see the type of arrhythmias. What are the different types of arrhythmia? So, depending upon where they occurs, the arrhythmias can be of a different types. Like there are 8 types: sinus bradycardia, sinus tachycardia. Sinus means here related to the SA node. Then sick sinus syndrome, sinus arrhythmia. Then there can be occurrence of arrhythmia in the atrium or ventricular, and depending upon that there are different four again types: atrial and supraventricular arrhythmia, atrial flutter or atrial fibrillation, and ventricular arrhythmia. So sinus bradycardia means uh, there is a decrease in firing rate of AC node. Tachycardia means increasing. Sinus syndrome, sick sinus means AC node is becoming sick. And there is a sinus arrhythmia, that firing of the impulse by the AC node is different. Like it is an arrhythmic. So this might be leading to the abnormality into the function of the atrium and ventricles. So depending upon how they behave, there are different types of arrhythmias in the atrium and ventricle. Next is the sinus bradycardia and sinus tachycardia. So the first one is a sinus bradycardia, where there is a significant decrease in the firing of the SA node. You can see the gap in between these two signals are very high as compared to here over here. So the main reason behind the sinus bradycardia is increase in the vagus tone. So due to increase in the vagus tone, the SA node is getting a less amount of firing signals. Myxedema, hypothermia, these are the reasons behind the sinus bradycardia. Then raised intracranial pressure. So along with that, the digitalis beta blocker and calcium channel blocker. So adrenergic tone is significantly depressed, and due to that, you can see the gap in between these two signals is very high. So there is a significant depression of the SA node, and due to that, the SA node is firing the impulse at very low rate. And next to it is a sinus tachycardia. You can see the bottom line over here. Uh, the gap between these two is very small. There is a high frequency of SA node firing. The main reason behind is the anemia, hypothyroidism, fever, or blood loss, hypovolemia, heart failure, or there might be drugs like adrenaline, isoprenaline, and epinephrine. So these adrenaline, isoprenaline, epinephrine, these are the adrenergic stimulant, we can say. So they increases the adrenergic tone, and thereby the SA node firing rate has been increased, and due to that there is a sinus tachycardia, we can see. So bottommost line is the sinus tachycardia and topmost line is the sinus bradycardia. Next is a sick sinus syndrome, where there is a firing of the impulse by the SA node is a sick. It is not as up to the mark, the frequency. So elder people mainly, and there is a complication in paradoxical or atrial tachycardia. This is leading to the sick sinus syndrome. So sinus or SA node is not firing the impulse at a particular intensity, we can say. The power is not there. So syncope due to heart rate, or there is a sinking of the heart, and heart work as a too feeble or low, or maybe it will be too fast. So you can see over here also there is a very shadow working of the heart. This is taking place. There is a sinus arrhythmia. You can see there is a completely absence of rhythm. You can see the distance between these two different beats. So due to failure of SA node, in the failure of SA node, there might be taken up by the AV node, or some ectopic cells are generated over there, and then due to that there is a formation of ectopic signals over there, and this is leading to the sinus arrhythmia. So variation in the vagal tone, respiratory changes, inspirational changes or expirational changes. So this happens into the sinus arrhythmia type of things. Then atrial or supraventricular arrhythmia. So the arrhythmia occurs in the atria and some ventricular part of it. So atrial ectopic beats, these are responsible for the atrial arrhythmia. Then ectopic beats are the junctional nodes. They are taking place. There is a rhythm change in the rhythm, and due to that, mainly there is a abnormality into the generation, and this is leading to the impact on the atrium. So there is an arrhythmia into the atria mainly. So this is what the atrial arrhythmia. And supraventricular arrhythmia means there is a contraction of ventricles has been affected largely. So you can see over here uh, the atria are not contracting here, and here you can see QRS complex is a little bit affected over here. So paradoxical supraventricular tachycardia, atrial fibrillation, heart rate goes beyond 140 to 240, like this way. This type of arrhythmia mainly occurs. So atrial flutter and fibrillation. So these are related to the rate by which they are taking place. So if the heart beats is more than 250 to 300, then it is called as a flutter. And if it is going beyond 300, then it is called as a fibrillation. So in these conditions, the heart mainly fail to work as a pump because the heart rate is too high, so that before contraction it go for the relaxation and it is not working effective as a pump. So for the flutter, so there is a varying degree of AV block. The AV cannot conduct the, so atria contracts at a higher speed and ventricle contract at the lower speed because there is a block in between the atrioventricular node. So signal is coming from the AC node, but it is not propagated to the AV node and further. So atria beats more farther and ventricle beats at the lower rate. So you can see here 250 to 300 per beat for the atria, but ventricles are beating 110 to 130 per minute. So underlying organic disorder may be the cause behind it. So if this happens, then it is called as atrial flutter, and if this same propagate to the ventricles also, then it is called as a fibrillation, where the heart rate is almost going beyond the 300 beats per minute, and due to multiple foci or multiple ectopic activity, this kind of things happen. There is some degree of EV block and heart beats irregularly over here, and there is a repetitive firing of the P wave and fibrillation wave in the heart, it occurs. And the last part is the ventricular arrhythmia. So the arrhythmia mainly occurs into the pumping part of the heart, that is ventricles. So ventricles are affected over here. So this is the one of the most dangerous type of arrhythmia, where the pumping station itself is affected over here. So mainly it is seen in the patients with the organic heart diseases, because that is underlying secondary complications might be there, and which is leading to the ventricular arrhythmia. So myocardial infarctions means there is a damage to the myocardium, which is leading to the ventricular arrhythmia. The ventricular tachycardia heart rate may go beyond 120 to 200 beats per minute. That is manifested by regular rapid palpitation, chest pain, breathlessness. These are the typical signs and symptoms behind the ventricular arrhythmia. Torsades de Pointes is one of the typical group of syndromes which are taking place over here. Distinct ventricular tachycardia associated with a long QT interval. This is one typical sign and symptoms of arrhythmia. Idiopathy due to hypokalemia, which is leading to this kind of toxicity, or toxicity of tricyclic antidepressants, which is leading to the ventricular arrhythmia. Ventricular fibrillation, where the heart rate of the cardiac output goes beyond 300 or up to 500. So actually here the cardiac output is almost minimal or nil. Heart cannot work as a pump because before going to the contraction it relaxes. So uncontrolled ventricular contraction, ventricular filling and emptying in ceases. Ventriculars are not filling and they are not emptying even. So drop in a cardiac output, significant drop in a cardiac output, this is one of the typical thing which is happening into the ventricular arrhythmia. So it occurs mainly due to the drowning of the patient, or electrocutation, that is electrical shock is there, or person is submerged into the water like this way. Or these are also the side effect of the overdose of digitalis or adrenaline. So basically these are the pathophysiological consequences or different types of arrhythmia. Amongst these all, atrial or sinus arrhythmia, these are not too much dangerous, but this one last, that is ventricular arrhythmia, it is one of the typical kind of arrhythmia which is needed to be treated properly. So this is what about the types of arrhythmia. Remaining part we will continue in the next lecture.